basic electrical and electronics engineering subject, how to write in examination. Suppose the booklet is for 36 pages, the booklet is there, then half of the subject basic electrical you have to write, and remaining half of the booklet 18 pages you have to write computer ECE, that is the electronic subject. First 18 pages you have to write BEEE subject electrical part A, and part B you have to write in next remaining 18 pages. Now previous question paper BEEE November 2020 BTech first year first sem and second semester R19 regulations November 2020 the question paper and answers how to write basic electrical and electronics engineering. Let us discuss now. Normally the questions are part A, part B. Normally the question paper will be 2 marks and 10 marks questions, but coming to only basic BEEE, there is no 2 marks questions. They will give continuously the questions, one part A from 3 units, part B 3 units, electrical part and electronics part, 2 parts how to write the answers. There is no 2 marks questions, only 10 marks questions. But unit 1 they will give option to you. First unit there are 2 questions you can answer, and unit 2 you can 2 questions you have to answer 1, unit 3. Similarly for electronics part, explain working of Zener diode as a regulator. Like that from unit 1 they will give 2 questions, you have to write 1 answer. But each question is carries 10 marks. There is no 2 marks questions. But A, B, C will be given for part A, part B, A, B, C questions. In part A, B, C, A may be consist of 2 marks, B may be 2 marks, C may be 2 marks. Or some other may be A may be 4 marks, B may be 4 marks, C may be 2 marks. Like that they will give questions. నార్మల్గా క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్ ఎలా ఉంటుందో 2 మార్క్స్ క్వశ్చన్స్ 10 మార్క్స్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఇలా ఉందో ఈ క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్ ఎలా ఉందో ఆన్సర్స్ కూడా ఎలా చేయాలి ప్రీవియస్ క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్కి BEEE we will discuss now. Basic electrical and electronics engineering, that is R19 question paper, R20 present regulation is, but what is the answers, how to answer the BEEE part A and part B, electrical and electronics part also we will discuss in this video. The question paper is basic electrical and electronics engineering for R19 November 2020. Carefully observe the question paper part A and part B. First question is state Kirchoff's current and voltage laws, KCL and KVL. What is Kirchoff current law and KCL and KVL? The sum of incoming currents equal to outgoing currents, that is summation I equal to sigma I equal to 0. Voltage law is summation V equal to 0 simply, but we have to represent for 4 marks it is, they are dividing the marks. And for this discuss first question B is discuss the significance of power factor. What is power factor? What is the importance of power factor? What is the significance? Power factor plays important role in deciding the current. Power factor plays important role in deciding the current, that we have to remember. Power factor cos phi equal to P by VI in case of AC circuits, in case of single phase. Not for DC circuit. For DC circuit there is no frequency. Power factor may be 1. Power factor simply we can define cos phi equal to R by Z, resistance to impedance ratio. Let us see the answer. Finally, the total PDF also you can download from description. The second question is find the total resistance between positive and negative terminals of battery in the figure shown. Total resistance, equivalent resistance we have to find out, that is question. The remaining unit 1 second question is state and explain how superposition theorems are applied for solving a network with an example. Superposition theorem already I made a video how to solve, but we have to assume one circuit. After that take an example without values. After that we have to show, state and explain superposition theorem is applied for solving network with an example. Similarly B is a circuit consists of 25 ohm capacitance, 5 micro ohm connected in series. Already this question also, what is the power factor, real power, reactive power. The unit 2 is Coming to unit 2, explain the working principle of single phase transformer. What is the principle of transformer? Mutual induction it is. A 16 pole wave wound DC generator having 50 slots with the 25B question is that one. Simple question they asked, unit 2. Working principle of transformer, by taking one diagram we have to explain. The answers will be revealed after this entire question paper discussion. Next, coming to unit 2, again another one, DC and AC machines. A single phase transformer, a DC generator, unit 2, third question is, fourth question, principle of operation of 3-phase induction motor with neat sketch. Rotating magnetic field will produce and 3-phase induction motor, how it works, principle of operation of with neat sketch. Stator, rotor, 3-phase distributor winding is there, that is, and B is the numerical problem based on transformer. This is also simple problem they asked. Unit 3, explain the working of hydropower station. You can easily answer that hydropower station. How hydrological power station works. Hydel power station it is also known, by the use of a dam, construction of a dam, after that penstock, reservoir, power plant and turbine and connected to alternator. Then second question is unit 3, sixth question is in detail about primary and secondary distribution. What is primary, what is secondary, also I made a video, you can check in description. And coming to unit 3 is that one. Coming to part B, that is basic electrical and electronics engineering. Part B is electronics part. It is the part B. Explain the working of Zener diode as a regulator. Sketch and describe static input output characteristics of common emitter. This is the question. Common emitter configuration for NPN transistor. Indicate cutoff and active saturation regions. That is for unit 1 part B ECE question, that is electronics part. Next another question is discuss about VI characteristics of PN junction diode. How to answer PN junction diode? Diode may be VI characteristics we have to explain. In the same 8th question they asked that B sketch the circuit of inverting summing amplifier using op amp to get V output equal to minus V1 plus 2V2 minus 3V3. Coming to unit 2, briefly explain, 9th question is briefly explain the characteristics of digital ICs. Convert the following number to different numbers, gray number, decimal, octal, that is B. Coming to in unit 2 again another question is 10th, perform the subtraction of binary numbers using two complements method. Similarly, JK flip-flop, how it works, design. Unit 3 again the questions are 11 and 12th. 11th question, discuss about basics of electronic communication systems, and B is explain about pulse modulation systems. 12th question, compare performance of different amplitude modulation techniques, briefly explain the working of satellite communication system. These are the question paper, and how to write the questions answers, that is very important. ఖచ్చితంగా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాల్సింది BEEE బుక్లెట్లో సగం వరకు ఎలక్ట్రికల్ రాయాలి, సగం వరకు ఎలక్ట్రానిక్స్ పార్ట్ రాయాలి, అది గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. ఎలక్ట్రికల్లో వచ్చి ఎలక్ట్రానిక్స్ పార్ట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ డోంట్ రైట్ ద ఎలక్ట్రానిక్స్ పార్ట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ up to 18 pages. After 18 pages only you have to start electronics part. While correcting the question paper, the examiners has to understand that first half will be electrical, after that second half will be electronics part. Question numbers compulsory ఖచ్చితంగా వేయండి. మీకు వచ్చిన క్వశ్చన్స్ ఎలక్ట్రికల్ వస్తే ఎలక్ట్రికల్ రాయండి ఫస్ట్ 18 పేజెస్లో, రిమైనింగ్ 18 పేజెస్లో యూ హ్యావ్ టు రైట్ పార్ట్ బి ఎలక్ట్రానిక్స్, అది గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. నౌ గో ఫర్ క్వశ్చన్ అండ్ ఆన్సర్స్. What is state, Kirchoff law and voltage law? That is the first question. Significance of power factor and total resistance. This is the first question, part A. Coming to the answer, I already told you what is Kirchoff's law, Kirchoff voltage law, Kirchoff current law. Two laws we have to explain. The laws relates the EMF and voltage drop in circuit, KVL and KCL. In any closed circuit or mesh, algebraic sum of all electromotive force EMFs equal to 0. That is summation or sigma V equal to 0 in any closed loop. All voltage drops equal to 0. Summation V equal to 0. Coming to Kirchoff's current law. What is Kirchoff's current law? The sum of incoming currents equal to outgoing currents. or the total currents in any closed path, closed loop is equal to 0. In any closed circuit or mesh, sum of EMFs plus sum of voltage drops equal to 0. That is KVL. It is the KVL summation all the voltage drops plus all EMFs equal to 0. That is KVL. If you consider this a circuit R1, R2 are the two resistances and I is the current and this is the EMF source, then I1 R1 equal to plus I2 R2 equal to 0, or what is the voltage across this one is V1, V1 equal to I1 R1, this may be written as V2 equal to I2 R2, hence we can write summation V equal to 0, total voltage drops equal to 0, E minus I1 R1 plus I2 R2 equal to 0. We can write this equation E equal to I R1 plus I R2 for this, or simply you can write summation V equal to 0. For this circuit, the summation, for example, we consider to explain KVL. Two resistors R1 R2 connected in series with the source or voltage source or EMF E. The total voltage drop equal to supply voltage E equal to I1 R1 plus I1 I R2, because the voltage drop across this R1 is I into R1 according to Ohm's law. V equal to IR is the Ohm's law. The voltage across any element equal to I into R, I into R1 plus I into R2, that is E, or the total voltage drops equal to 0 means E minus I1 R1 plus E minus I1 R1 plus I2 R2 equal to 0, we can write, that is KVL. Coming to KCL, the sum of incoming currents equal to I1 I4 equal to I2 I3, or we can say that I1 I4 are incoming currents, outgoing currents are minus I2 I3, we can write like this. Then that is what is the statement of KCL. First we have to know the Stroll relays currents in the junction of any electronic circuit may be the total current in any closed circuit is equal to 0, or in sum of incoming currents equal to outgoing currents. The same we written here, I1 plus I4 equal to I1 plus I4 are the incoming currents, I1 plus I4 are the incoming currents. For this, the sum of incoming currents equal to all algebraic sum of all currents equal to 0. ఇక్కడ I1 I4 incoming currents, I2 I3 outgoing currents, I2 I3 are outgoing currents, that is sum of incoming currents equal to outgoing currents, or algebraic sum of total currents equal to 0. If you send I2 I3 left hand side, then it becomes 0. I1 I4 minus I2 minus I3, that equal to 0, that is KCL. Similarly for B, power factor, what is the cosine of the angle between voltage and current is known as power factor. The answer is the ratio between resistance to impedance, also known as power factor. Like that, three definitions are there. The ratio between active power to apparent power, also known as power factor. You know that power triangle. Power triangle shows it is the real power, reactive power, real power, it is real power, and reactive power, apparent power. That is, simply we can say that R X Z, cos phi equal to R by Z, we can write. This is impedance triangle, this is power triangle. From the power triangle, the power factor angle is phi equal to active power by cos phi equal to, this is R, not X, this is R, this is X. This is X and this is R and this is Z. If you apply the phi, cos phi equal to R by Z. That is, if you draw this power triangle, you will get some marks. They given the 2 marks. According to the question ABC, they will divide How much marks we can allot? Assume that suppose the question is a simple one, they will allot 2 or 4 marks. If the question is a lengthy one, you will get 6 marks for 10 marks. Similarly, if you go for the equivalent resistance, how to find the equivalent resistance? The given circuit is like this. The given circuit is like this. They given the values R1, R2, R3, R4, R5. These are in parallel. First we club it together the equivalent resistance. After that it is in series. We found this resistance. After that these are in series. We have to equate 4.7 47 plus 47. This equivalent resistance is 24.7 and this is connected in series. Finally, we obtain R equivalent equal to 1 for this is R 100 ohm is in series with 48. This combination total resistance combination is 48.4 and this is 100 ohm. How to calculate equivalent resistance? If the resistance are connected in series, R equivalent equal to R1 plus R2. R1 plus R2. How to calculate parallel resistance? R equivalent equal to multiplication by addition. R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. Two resistance are connected in parallel, then we can write R equivalent equal to R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. Like that we can calculate. Similarly, if you calculate R equivalent equal to 148.4 ohm obtained. Vs already given, Vs is 200 volts. IL is I equal to V by R equivalent 1.347 amperes. Whatever be the problem they given, if you draw the circuit diagram, after that you do some simplifications, resistance, series, parallel identification, after that we can do. Coming to question number 2, state and explain superposition theorem applied for solving with an example, solving a network with an example. And another one is a circuit consists of 25 ohms and capacitance 5 micro ohm characterized in series. A voltage is applied 200 volts. Find the RMS value, input current, power factor, real power and apparent power. Let us see this answer. Already I made a video what is superposition theorem and how to calculate the current through any branch, any resistance by using superposition theorem. I made a video what is superposition principle. If you state the principle, after that if you consider an example, then you will get 3 and 3 6 marks you will get. Where there is an example problem also I made a video, that is link in description, superposition theorem. Apply the superposition principle and one of the source is acting alone and both the source acting alone and individual source acting alone. That is, the superposition theorem states that the response of in any element equal to algebraic sum of total response. That is a simple superposition theorem. We have to remember that. Example problem you will get 3 marks. See clearly how the marks are divided. Statement some marks and circuit diagram some marks. After that if you know the circuit diagram, if you know the statement, finally if you don't know how to do superposition theorem, then you have to answer. Coming to B, the resistance and capacitance are connected in series with the 220 volts 50 Hz. The resistance VR and I is in phase, phasor diagram for this. VR is the voltage drop across the resistance and capacitance voltage. Capacitance voltage will be leads the 90 degrees and resultant voltage will be V. This is the voltage across resistor is VR. This is the resistor and voltage across this is VR and current through resistance is always in phase. In phase means parallel. Or phase angle between voltage and current in resistance is power factor of resistance is 1. That is VR is in phase with I. And power factor ante em telusu kada, cos phi equal to R by Z. R by Z or current, voltage and current angle is power factor, cosine of the angle between voltage and current. If you consider the current and resistance is IR, I is the total current flowing through this, then both are in phase. From that, given that frequency is 50 Hz, from that we can calculate XC, capacitor reactance. Capacitor reactance XC equal to 2 pi FC, that is 36.619 ohm. Z equal to R square plus XL square total square root. That is from the impedance triangle. If you remember this, R, X, Z. By using Pythagoras law, you can Z square equal to R square plus X square, or Z equal to square root of R square plus XL square. It is XL reactance, inductive reactance. That is 631.7 ohm it is. Okay, input current I equal to V by Z. It is also AC circuit. What is the formula? I equal to V by R, not R, Z will come in AC circuits. Power factor cos phi equal to R by Z we can calculate. From that sin phi we can calculate. How to calculate? Real power. VI cos phi is the real power formula. V తెలుసు, I తెలుసు, and we are substituting cos phi. Cos phi, if you substitute this, then you will get 2.46 watts. Reactive power is VI sin phi in single phase. V is 220 volts, I is 0.3139 amps, and sin phi is 0.992. If you substitute all this, you will get VR, reactive power. That is a simple problem. For BEEE students, they will give some depth questions, but for CSE and mechanical students BEEE, they will give very simple questions. Coming to unit 2, the questions, unit 2, what is the question? Explain the principle of transformer. Transformer works on the principle of mutual inductance between two coils, or Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Whenever supply is given for primary winding, due to mutual inductance, an EMF will be induced in secondary winding. That is the transformer principle. Transformer has two devices, it doesn't have any rotating parts. What is the speed of transformer is 0 RPM, hence no friction losses, which converts electrical power from one circuit to another circuit without changing the frequency. That is transformer. Transformer works principle of Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Every machine, every electrical apparatus works on Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Similarly, what is the construction? Primary winding and secondary winding, like that you can go for construction. For this, simply we can say that it is a core, transformer core, and two windings are there. Two windings are this one, but diagrammatically we have to represent the windings are like this. It is a transformer, it is a core. On that core we are providing primary winding. How to draw winding also important. Thus first is entering, after that from here it is started. Similarly here it is started. How to draw this? Clearly you have to understand. It is the primary current entering. Entering may be backside. After that from here it is started. Again the secondary winding will be backside will be winding. Again it will be start like this. Again it will be start like this. Finally we have to write like this, primary winding. Similarly we have to write. Transformer is common core ఉంటుంది ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మర్లో. It is does not change the frequency but alter the voltage levels. That is the principle of transformer. How the transformer works? Transformer based on two principles. First, electric current can produce a magnetic field. ఈ మనమైతే ఎక్కడైతే సప్లై ఇస్తామో ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మర్కి అప్పుడు మ్యాగ్నెటిక్ ఫ్లక్స్ క్రియేట్ అవుతుంది. మ్యాగ్నెటిక్ ఫ్లక్స్ ప్రైమరీ టర్న్స్, సెకండరీ టర్న్స్. ఈ మ్యాగ్నెటిక్ ఫ్లక్స్ ఏమవుతుంది? దిస్ మ్యాగ్నెటిక్ ఫ్లక్స్ రొటేట్స్ త్రూ కోర్ అండ్ లింక్స్ విత్ secondary winding. Here also EMF will be induced in secondary winding. Some fluxes may be leakage flux. Primary winding is, this is primary and this is secondary. Assume that. If you give the supply here, you will get again supply. You will get again induced EMF secondary. That is the mutual inductance principle we are using in the transformer. It is a transformer core, primary turns and secondary turns, leakage fluxes, magnetic flux phi m. A simple construction, that is transformer. If you go for another one, according to given data, a DC generator is given. Let us see the question again. See the question. A is explain the principle of transformer. On B is a numerical problem on DC generator. A 6-pole wave wound DC generator having 50 slots with 25 conductors per slot and rotating at 1500 RPM. The flux per pole is 0.015 Weber. Calculate EMF generated. It is very simple. EG equal to pi Z and P by 60A. Let us see the answer. A 6 pole is given, number of poles are 6, assume that P is the number of pole, E is equal to pi Zn P by 60A is equal to pi Zn P by 60A is the formula, where phi is flux per pole, Z is the total number of conductors, N is the speed, 60 is constant, and P is the number of poles, A is the number of parallel paths. From that, Z equal to 50 into 25, 50 slots are there, each slot having 25 conductors, total we will get 1250. For wave winding, Z equal to A equal to number of 2, that is parallel paths are equal to 2. For lap winding, A equal to P, that we have to remember. A equal to 2, for wave winding it is A equal to 2. Speed is given on 1500 rpm. Z is 15 into 25, each slot having 25 conductors. అంటే ఆర్మేచర్ ఉంటుంది కదా, ఆర్మేచర్లో కండక్టర్స్ ఉంటాయి, స్లాట్స్లో కండక్టర్స్ ఉంటాయి. టోటల్ కండక్టర్స్ ఎన్ని ఉన్నాయంటే 50 slots, ఈచ్ స్లాట్ హ్యావింగ్ 25 conductors, that is 1250. Flux per pole is given as 0.015 Weber. Finally, we substituted all pi Z and P by 60A, that is 1.1406.25 volts, that is our 1.40 kilovolts. Kilovolts or volts simply, that is the answer. Coming to next question, what is the principle of operation of 3-phase induction motor? Question number 4 is, induction motor is a synchronous motor. Induction motor having 3-phase supply, we are giving for 3-phase supply, a rotating magnetic field will be created. That rotating magnetic field RMF rotates the rotor. Whenever we given the flux, whenever we given the supply for stator, 3-phase induction motor having stator is 3-phase distributed winding. In the slots we are providing stator having 3-phase distributed winding. 3-phase rotating magnetic field will be created when you give the supply for stator. That rotating magnetic field cuts the conductors, a torque will be induces. According to the direction of rotating magnetic field, due to flux induced in rotor current, the motor starts rotate, a torque will be induces. That is known as 3-phase induction motor. What is RFM? Rotating. RMF is rotating magnetic field. The principle of that motor is F equal to BIL sin theta or F equal to BIL newtons, that force will be. Whenever current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field, it induces a mechanical force, that is the 3-phase induction motor. 3-phase currents IA, IB, IC. 3-phase means it is a 3-phase RYB. Assume that RYB are the 3 phases and it is connected to induction motor. Here rotating magnetic field produces in the induction motor and each phase is displaced by 120 degrees. And construction of 3-phase induction motor, all this comes under AC missions. That is the A bit, and B bit is single phase transformer. That is question number. The question number is question number 4. Question number 4. The principle of operation of 3-phase induction motor with neat sketch, that is allotted to 6 marks. 6 marks and 6 marks. We have to write 5 questions. A single phase transformer has 600 primary and 1200 secondary turns. Primary and 2 turns are secondary turns are given. The net cross sectional area of core is 70 square centimeter. If the primary winding is connected to a 50 Hz supply, 500 volts. Calculate peak value of flux density in the core, voltage induced in the secondary winding, transformation ratio. 3 values we have to calculate. Let us see the solution. According to given data, they given that single phase transformer, it is 500 volts and 50 Hz supply. Number of turns in primary is 600, given that N2 also 600, 1200. Cross sectional area of the core is 70 square centimeter, that is meters, square meters we have to convert 10 power minus 4. The EMF equation of transformer is 4.44 F pi m n number of turns. If you substitute all this, you will get 1. In this E1 also given 500 EMF induced, 4.44 is constant, 50 H phi m n1. Phi m also given that, n1 also given 600. Phi m equal to, from this unknown term is phi m. ఇక్కడ నుంచి మనం phi m క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేస్తే 3.75 into 10 power minus 3 Weber. Therefore, B max equal to 5, B equal to 5 by A, flux equal to, maximum flux density is phi m max by A. Phi max by R cross sectional area, if you divide it, you will get like this. Next, EMF induced E2 is N2 by N1 into K. What is E2 by E1 equal to? We have to remember one formula, that is E2 by E1 equal to K, or N2 by N1 equal to K. From that we can calculate K equal to 2. First we calculated E2, N2 by N1 into E1. We have to remember one formula, that is E2 by E1 equal to N2 by N1. That is E2 by E1 equal to N2 by N1. అక్కడ నుంచి మనకు 1000 volts వచ్చింది. K equal to E2 by E1 or N2 by N1 also, that is K. N2 is N2 by N1 also K. Number of turns in primary, secondary by number of turns in primary. Coming to fifth question. The question of fifth question is, explain and working of hydropower station. This is a unit 3. Unit 3 is basics of power system, power generation and distribution and transmission. 3 parts will come in unit 3. The first question, fifth question is, explain the working of hydropower station with a neat sketch. How to understand this hydropower station? Let us see. And sixth question is a primary and secondary distribution system. Let us see the answer. The hydropower station works on the kinetic energy of water is converted to electrical energy. The kinetic energy of water is converted to electrical energy. For that, the water is stored in a dam. That is the water, it is a dam constructed. The dam construction, what is the water stored? It is stored in reservoir. The water will come from catchment area. Suppose the hills are there, the total catchment area from the water, where water is coming, that is called total catchment area. Where the water is coming, what is the total catchment area means? The water is collected from various places. The total catchment area of Nagarjunasagar dam is very huge. Similarly, Srisalam, the water catch out, that is the example for hydropower station. From that, the water with huge pressure, kinetic energy, flows through a penstock. Penstock carries the water. Surge tank. What is the purpose of surge tank? If any pressure is there, penstock will damages water. The pressure will be released by surge tank. Penstock means a pipe, simply. The water is converted by using valve, gate valves all will be there, and turbine valve, it is turbine. Turbine converts kinetic energy water into mechanical energy. The turbine is coupled to electric generator. From that electric generator, the power will be generated. After that, it will be step up into high voltages and it will be transmitted. Why the voltage generation is 11 kV? But to transmit longer distances, we have to step up the voltage. Voltage high చేసి పంపించాలి, అంటే maximum voltage పంపిస్తేనే remaining water will be spillway ద్వారా బయటకు వదిలేస్తారు. This is a remaining water, back water. Again this water may be stepped up. Suppose ఈ వాటర్ అంతా బ్యాక్ వాటర్ ఈ ఫ్లోలో వెళ్ళిపోతుంటాయి. ఒకవేళ హైడ్రో పవర్ స్టేషన్లో వాటర్ తక్కువ ఉంటాయి, మళ్ళీ ఈ వాటర్ని పంప్ చేస్తారు ఇక్కడికి. That is hydropower station. Here we have to explain each and every part. What is purpose of penstock, surge tank? That is simply, what is hydropower station? Hydropower, potential energy of water is converted into electrical energy. Reservoir, it stores the water. Dam, it is made with the path of river to make the reservoir to hold the rainwater. Dam is spillways are made to make the dam safe. When level of water is exceeds some defined point, it discharges through these spillways. గేట్లు అంటూ ఉంటారు కదా, వాటర్ ఎక్కువ ఎక్సీడ్ అయితే డ్యామ్ కూలిపోయే ఛాన్స్ ఉంటుంది, కాబట్టి స్పిల్వేస్ ద్వారా మనం వాటర్ పంపించేస్తారు. నెక్స్ట్ 4 bay. What is 4 bay? When there is a sudden change in the turbine load, in such cases there is need of temporary storage of water. This temporary storage of water near turbine is called 4 bay. సర్జ్ ట్యాంక్ అంటే ప్రెజర్ తగ్గించడానికి. వాట్ ఈస్ ద పెన్స్టాక్లో ఉండే ప్రెజర్? సర్జ్ ట్యాంక్ ఈజ్, వాట్ ఈస్ ద పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ సర్జ్ ట్యాంక్? సర్జ్ ట్యాంక్ ఈజ్ బిల్డ్ ఇన్ బిట్వీన్ డ్యామ్ అండ్ వాల్ హౌస్, అంటే టర్బైన్ పోవడానికి ముందు మరియు డ్యామ్ మధ్యలో ఉంటుంది సర్జ్ ట్యాంక్. ఇట్ ఈజ్ యూజ్డ్ టు టేక్ కేర్ ఆఫ్ సిస్టమ్ లోడ్ ఫ్లక్చుయేషన్స్ ఆర్ పెన్స్టాక్ డ్యామేజ్ అవ్వకుండా. పెన్స్టాక్ ఈజ్ వాటర్ పైప్. దట్ ఈస్ ద ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్. వీ హ్యావ్ టు రైట్ ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ క్లియర్లీ. After that, the prime mover is connected to turbine. Turbine is a prime mover here. Prime mover or turbine, it is the main part of the power station. It coupled to the generator. Powerhouse. high voltage step up చేయడానికి పవర్ హౌస్ కావాలి. టైల్ రేసెస్ అవుట్లెట్ ఆఫ్ వాటర్ టర్బైన్ is discharged to the river through tail race. This is a simple example for BEEE, that is a hydropower station. Diagram and theory you have to write: dam, penstock, turbine and reservoir. What are the parts we have to remember first? Coming to another question, AC distribution, primary and secondary. What is primary, what is secondary? Generate and voltage in power station or generating station, power will be generated. 11 kV generate చేస్తారు. హై వోల్టేజ్ చేస్తారు. హై వోల్టేజ్ చేసి స్టెప్ అప్ చేసి 132 kV ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేస్తారు. ఇట్ ఈస్ నోన్ యాజ్ ట్రాన్స్మిషన్. ఇక్కడ నుంచి జనరేషన్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్ స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. ప్రైమరీ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్, సెకండరీ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్. ఆల్రెడీ ఐ మేడ్ ఏ వీడియో బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ప్రైమరీ అండ్ సెకండరీ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్. ద పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్ సిస్టమ్ ఇక్కడ వరకు అంటే 33 kV 132 kV ట్రాన్స్మిట్ చేస్తారు కదా, చాలా దూరం నుంచి. మన సపోజ్ ఇఫ్ యూ కన్సిడర్ CCLM టు సమ్ ఏరియా, ద పవర్ విల్ బి ట్రాన్స్మిటెడ్. ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ స్టెప్ డౌన్ అగైన్ టు లోకల్ మున్సిపాలిటీస్, ఇట్ విల్ బి ట్రాన్స్మిటెడ్ 33 kV. 33 kV to 11 kV again step down, that is HV supply for our houses, it is secondary distribution. The part of power system which distributes electric power, that is electrical distribution system part, it is primary and secondary voltage levels important. 33 kV is the primary distribution voltage level, 440 volts 230 volts or comes under secondary distribution voltage levels. Houses ku వచ్చేది secondary distribution. Primary distribution అంటే substations కి మళ్ళా రిమైనింగ్ సబ్స్టేషన్స్ ఉంటాయి. గ్రిడ్ సబ్స్టేషన్ నుంచి లోకల్ సబ్స్టేషన్స్కి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేస్తారు పవర్, అది ప్రైమరీ డిస్ట్రిబ్యూషన్. ఓకే, దిస్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు రిమెంబర్. దట్ ఈస్ అబౌట్ 3 units ఆఫ్ ఎలక్ట్రికల్ పార్ట్. కమింగ్ టు అనదర్ పార్ట్, దట్ ఈస్ ఎలక్ట్రానిక్స్ పార్ట్. యూ కెన్ సీ secondary distribution also here. This is the secondary distribution. Primary distribution for houses we are getting 440 volts 230 volts, that is comes under secondary. Coming to electronics part, part B, electronics part. Why Zener voltage, Zener diode acts as voltage regulator? That is the question. A Zener diode is used as a voltage regulator because the Zener diode is a diode, special diode. It is constant voltage across the load resistor. It is acts as a voltage regulator. Normally Zener diodes ఎక్కువ voltage regulator గా వాడుతుంటారు. The circuit diagram ఎలా ఉంటుంది? Zener diode it is. The symbol of diode is like this actually, but a Zener diode, this is the cathode will be like this. It is a Zener diode. Then it acts as voltage regulator, a simple voltage regulator it is. The operation and all we can explain here. Next, explain the circuit diagram of NPN transistor in common emitter configuration, that is common inverter configuration. NPN transistor diagrams you have to remember. The characteristics, input characteristics and output characteristics. Common emitter input VC equal 0, VC is greater than 0. VCE means collector to emitter voltage. This is the output characteristics, common emitter configuration, output characteristics, these are. Similarly PN junction diode, how it works? Forward bias లో junction diode యాక్టివ్గా ఉంటుంది, అంటే కండక్ట్ అవుతుంది. రివర్స్ biasలో ఫార్వర్డ్ బయాస్లో కండక్ట్ అవుతుంది, రివర్స్ బయాస్లో కండక్ట్ అవ్వదు. వెన్ ఎక్స్టర్నల్ వోల్టేజ్ అప్లైడ్ టు అక్రాస్ ద జంక్షన్, దెన్ ఇట్ ఈస్ నోన్ యాజ్ biasing. Giving the supply for anode and cathode is known as biasing. When external voltage is applied between the junctions, so to cancel the potential barrier by increasing the current flow is known as forward biasing. Forward bias means positive is connected to positive supply and negative is connected to N terminal. N layer is connected to negative of supply, P layer is connected to positive of supply, that is forward bias. Explanation: reverse bias, forward bias, how it works, that is junction diode. Remaining what is the properties of junction diode, what is the characteristics of junction diode is, these are the characteristics of junction diode. Reverse breakover voltage, VB breakover voltage, VF forward voltage and breakover voltage, like that. For graphs also some marks they allotted. Coming to 7th question. This is the question, let us see now. Let us see the question. Part B question is explain the working of general diode, sketch the characteristics. In part B again unit 1, that is VI characteristic of PN diode, sketch the circuit of inverting summing amplifier. This is the question for giving an input. Let us see the answer. The operational amplifier diagram and giving the input. This is the operational amplifier diagram, and this terminal has to be grounded, positive, and negative we are giving the supply V1 minus V2 minus V3. The three inputs are the virtual ground point C. The total currents are I1, I2, I3 equal to I4 plus IF. Like that we have to do solvation. Finally we will get the V0 equal to V1 plus V2 plus minus 3V3. How to draw the diagram? This is operational amplifier, it is a FF, and this may be 3 marks or 5 marks for derivation, like that. You can go for again 9th question. Characteristics of digital ICs. What are the integrated circuits? Operating speed, fan in, all this comes under characteristics. Power supply requirement, fan out. For this characteristics of ICs, fan in, fan out, fan in and fan out. In general, what are the characteristics of digital ICs? Noise. Next 9B is converting the numbers into different forms, decimal to octal, octal to hexadecimal, like that. Simply we can convert by using one methods, by the use of binary conversion methods. Similarly, 10th question, binary 4-bit synchronous up counter. It is synchronous up counter, binary 4-bit. Coming to explanation of this, we require 10th question, binary synchronous up counter diagram, timing diagram. It is communication system block diagram, transducer, whatever be the source that is converted by using transducer, amplifier and antennas, receiving channel, transmitter consist of this, and receivers ఏముంటాయి, రిసీవర్లో ఉండే పార్ట్స్ డిటెక్టర్, డిమాడ్యులేటర్, మాడ్యులేటర్, రిసీవర్లో ఉండే పార్ట్స్ గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. Coming to next one, pulse modulation. Pulse modulation is the type of modulation in which signal is transmitted in the form of pulses. Pulse modulation techniques are digital pulse modulation, PCM, pulse code modulation techniques, digital modulation techniques. These are what are the different types of modulation techniques. All this will be 10th question. 11th question, B part it is. Next 12th question is different types of amplitudes modulations. SSB modulation, single sideband modulation. Next VSB modulation. These are questions related to electronics part. Next 12th question, under 12th question B is satellite communication. What is the question? Satellite communication and diagram like this. This is about total basic electrical and electronics engineering, how to write the answers. You have to know exactly what question you know very well and write the answer. And one thing you have to remember, represent the diagram everywhere, wherever it is required. For 10 marks or 2 marks or 12 marks, whatever it is, represent the diagram and formula. And ఒక్క విషయం గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి, క్వశ్చన్ నెంబర్ కరెక్ట్గా వేయండి. ఎలక్ట్రానిక్స్ పార్ట్లోనే రాయండి. ఎలక్ట్రికల్ పార్ట్ ఫస్ట్ 18 పేజెస్లో మాత్రమే యూ హ్యావ్ టు రైట్. మీరు మిక్స్ చేసి రాస్తే గజిబిజీ కొన్ని క్వశ్చన్లో ఆన్సర్స్ మిస్ అయ్యే ఛాన్స్ ఉంది వైల్ ఎవాల్యుయేటింగ్. దట్ ఈస్ ద కీ పాయింట్ ఫర్ పాసింగ్ ద ఎలక్ట్రికల్ అండ్ ఎలక్ట్రానిక్స్ ఇంజనీరింగ్. థ్యాంక్ యూ. ఫర్ మోర్ వీడియోస్ ఖచ్చితంగా లైక్ చేయండి, సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి, మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్కి షేర్ చేయండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ.